Hi everyone, it's Alon Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, here live on the expo floor at Jenkins World in our broadcast hub. And we are excited to have Alon Girmonsky, who Alon I know for 7-8 years.
7 years.
Joining Alon is Steve Feloney. Alon is the business unit manager for BlazeMeter, VP at CA. And Steve is VP of products for the continuous delivery or DevOps business unit.
Right,
at CA.
Correct.
Excellent, guys. So, first of all, what do you think of Jenkins World?
It's a lot bigger than previous years, so it's grown quite a bit.
Yeah.
The amount of traffic that I'm seeing on the show floor is excellent.
It is. I think they were estimating 2,000 people. I mean, this is my 3rd year. And I also do a lot of Jenkins CD summits with them. It really has grown a ton. But then again, so is BlazeMeter, and so has CA's DevOps portfolio, right? I mean, you guys are slowly but surely taking all of my sponsors into one roof here, but
we use you as who to look at to buy.
Right, right. They're featured in DevOps.com. Let's buy them. But that being said, Alon, it's been a great thing for BlazeMeter, right? I mean, you guys were on such a hockey stick trajectory to begin with. But since the acquisition, I think it was right after last year's Jenkins World.
Yeah, it was actually October of last year, right after.
It's when it closed.
Yeah, when it obviously closed.
Yeah.
I think the announcement was in September.
Right. It was right after Jenkins World, because I remember speaking to BlazeMeter. It was hush-hush, and then, of course, that. But it's been a phenomenal year.
Yes, it was. It was a very interesting year, very positive year. And actually, I see this interview as sort of a closure. I think you were among the first to write one of the first articles about BlazeMeter when it launched.
Yes,
right.
Back when it launched.
Yes.
I was. I remember when it launched. I remember speaking to you when it launched. So it's nice, you know. It wasn't like I was on the Friends and Family stock distribution, but it was still very nice. Steve, let's talk a little bit about, though, your role is beyond just BlazeMeter is just one of the portfolio.
Correct.
Within the VP, within the CD business unit, it's become quite a unit, a powerhouse.
Yeah. So for continuous delivery, obviously it's about delivery. So we have different products that span the entire delivery process. We do release pipelines with our CDDD, our continuous delivery director. But what we focus on is one of the big problems with trying to deliver any sort of products is around testing, right? There's always this bottleneck. So one of the areas that we've gone into is continuous testing. Hence why BlazeMeter was brought in to help us move this forward with continuous testing. And we have a lot of other testing efficiency products like test data management and service virtualization. So all this combined is really putting us forward in an elite position. When we pitch and we talk to people about continuous delivery or continuous testing, it resonates fantastically with our customer base.
Of course, it's part of the modern software factory.
Yep. It is part of the modern software factory. That's right.
Now, interesting that you said that, though, guys, because, you know, our research, for instance, we just did a survey here with Vericode, another CA company, about global skills survey. And, you know, it wasn't a main part of the survey, but one of the things that came out is that testing remains probably one of the biggest bottlenecks. Why can't I do more? Why can't we release more? What, you know, where's the biggest skills gap, or not skills, where's the gap? Where's the bottleneck? And it is testing. And not only is it sort of traditional QA testing, even security testing, hence the Vericode stuff, right? You know, as we automate more tests of all kinds, and we shift them left, right, into our process, hopefully that bottleneck disappears or at least lessens. Is that what you guys see with the shift left?
So I think this is kind of, you know, everything boils down to the continuous testing message, where if you look at the industry today, you see the app economy exploding. The number of lines of code is going through the roof, right? But you have to have test coverage. It has to keep the same pace. Now, what happened, it's very easy to code, it's more complicated to test. It's also, let's face it, it's less exciting to test, right? So in order to keep the pace and maintain test coverage, you have to shift left. You cannot, the bottleneck, there's no way for the bottleneck to improve, to disappear, unless you add the armies of developers that participate in the test effort, right? And this is kind of continuous testing and shift left.
Yeah. So, Steve, is that the way you see it over there as well?
Well, you have no choice but to shift left. But just because you're doing a shift left doesn't mean the bottlenecks go away. Because here's the problem. When you have developers doing all this work, you have developers that are doing the development, that are now supposed to be doing the testing, the documentation, talking to customers, doing customer validations. You have developers doing all these things. It's what I say is shift happens. Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of shift happens. The problem is they don't have enough time. You have a 2-week sprint, and you're supposed to get all this stuff done. And so automation is supposed to be the key. That's supposed to be the value. That's supposed to save everything. 70% of all testing is still manual. Right? We have to do more automation, but to me the key is automating the automation. Right. If you can automate the automation of the scripts, now you can really get testing done where the developers don't have to write all the scripts and maintain all the scripts. And that will help alleviate that bottleneck and let the developers alleviate some of that shift that they have to deal with.
So let's hit that again. Automating the automation.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
I love it too.
So how are you doing it?
We're doing that in a few ways. One of the things with BlazeMeter, we created this new product called BlazeMeter API Test. And part of what BlazeMeter API Test does is it now auto-generates scripts to test the APIs. So you don't have to figure out how to test it. It'll do positive, negative, edge cases, SQL injection. You were talking about security. So it does all those tests. Testers, developers, they don't even have to think about it. It just gets done. You provide a Swagger doc. Just give me the API spec, and we'll give you the test, and you don't have to deal with it.
Excellent, man. So now, the issue, so Alon, when it's just BlazeMeter, it's a relatively small organization. We got that message and we deliver it, but you only play in a very small sandbox, so to speak. At CA, it's a much larger sandbox, right? You guys,
We call it a beach.
CA.
It's a beach.
It's a beach. But along with that beach comes a certain amount of inertia, right? How do we make this big organization make a turn? And your customers are big organizations,
Yes.
right? Who also takes time to turn that ship. How do we see that, but yet DevOps in this market as we look out here, it's
Fast.
changing like this. How do you reconcile that?
Well, what we're seeing with CA and what we're seeing with our customers is it's really one project at a time. We've seen companies that have tried to change everything all at once, and that fails. And so you pick either a current project that you're working on, or you choose a project that is going to be a little bit high profile, and you work that way. And then you build it up. And you don't even do like DevOps. You don't do the whole thing. You find where your pains are, fix those, knowing what your goal is, and then you build out.
You pick your spots.
Yes, and that's what we're doing. And one of the things, like with BlazeMeter, we didn't just get a performance testing, we actually got a way of doing SaaS.
Right.
CA, historically,
It's
is not a
SaaS.
SaaS company.
No.
And we know this. And people have always, they think, oh, the big company, you're going to buy this little company, and we're going to be the Borg, and we're going to crush them. This is not the case. BlazeMeter is going to be the Borg for us. They're going to help us transform.
And that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Because, we have a very good relationship with CA. But in today's world with SaaS, and here's another thing I'll clue you in, my observation based on 25 years in the business. SaaS alone isn't enough. You still need to hold people's hands. You still need sales engineers. You still need training. It can't be just check out the FAQ, right? The FAQ and you're good.
If you look at any strong SaaS product, like Salesforce,
Right.
for example.
Well, they have a whole ecosystem, right?
That's right. You're going to
And that-
need the whole.
There's a whole
kit and
pro
caboodle.
services element to the whole thing.
It's just a delivery model that's changed.
Exactly. But it's a radical change, nevertheless. You know, it's something I'm familiar with from my time. But anyway, Alon, I'm so happy for you, the Blaze Meter crew. Steve, I'm really happy for CA. I mean, it's, you know, we haven't even mentioned Atomic or some of the other recent acquisitions. There's a lot happening there.
Yep.
You guys got to mix it all in, but you have all the ingredients to make a great cake there.
Yes.
So, what is it? Shift happens?
Shift happens.
Shift happens. All right.
Piles of it.
Alon Girmonsky, Steve Feloney.
Feloney.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, DevOps TV, here from Jenkins World.